Good morning to one and all. Today we would know more about the examination module in detail. To access the examination module, you can just go to the more menu and click on examination. On clicking onto the examination, you would come across the exams homepage. The exams homepage would have the following options: settings, exam management, generate reports, report center, and the plugin online exam if you have it. To start with, let us first of all do the necessary settings for examinations. On clicking on the settings, the user is redirected to a page where he sees the four different options: set grading levels, ranking levels, and class designations and CC settings. In set grading levels, we set the grades that are to be used in the exams. These grades come in handy when we are making the course as CC, GPA or CWA. So these are the courses where the grades come in are used for in counting the marks for a particular exam. Moreover, if you have opted the exam type to be grades and marks and grades, then these grading levels would be affected right there itself too. So these grading levels can be made common to the whole institution. Moreover, they can be made particular for a particular batch also. To do this, they can just click onto the desired option here and set the grades. Moreover, if they want to set the grades in common, they can also do it by using the common here. And if you need to add a grade, you can just go to the add grades link that I've clicked and then put on the minimum score. Let us say that the minimum score is 1, or let it be 20, okay, 10, and the credit points for it are 1.0. If you want to even delete a grade, you can also do so by using this delete button. In case if you want to edit this, you can just go to this edit button and edit the same. So the credit points that are being asked here while adding the grades are to be used in the GPA of the GPA course structure of the exams. So mm, so um, once this setting is done, the system is ready to calculate all the grades of a particular student. Next, let us know more about the ranking levels. Ranking levels are a concept where uh, we want to categorize the marks secured by students into different ranks. For example, you can put a ranking level as of three kinds. It can be failed, it can be deferred, it can be passed. So using these options, we can just click on a name. Let us say that we have somebody called a ranking level called deferred. Then the minimum marks, I mean the marks bar for the to come for student to come under the category is I put it as absent to make it more clear. So if a student who is absent, so the marks that the percentage of marks that he would be getting is 0, and the limit type might be exact. So only a person who has been absent can only score can score 0. So if we do this, and the minimum number of subjects in which 0 has to be scored to for a student to categorize him into the absent ranking level might be, let us say that, 2. So the two criteria that we put up here are marks, limit type, and subjects. So this is the number of marks that is to be scored in this number of subjects using the respective limit types for a student to be categorized under this ranking level. Once this is done, we can hit the create button, and so the ranking levels are created. So we can create more ranking levels like deferred, past, absent, and so on. Now let's move on to the class designation. The class designations are the simple concept of categorized students depending upon the marks without any kinds of criteria of subjects. So only the mark criteria are taken into hand when managing different class designations. For example, we can have class designations like first division, second division, third division, and failed. Now we have something called here the CC settings, which is to be discussed separately in a different module, different webinar that is to be scheduled. Now as we have done with the settings part of it, now we would be quickly moving upon the exam management link of exams homepage. Once exam management has been clicked, you can see this page. So this helps us to create an exam, to enter marks into an exam, and create uh, and publish a result and schedule result. So we would be going in detail about all the workflow of this particular exam creation subject. So to start with, we select a course to create an exam. Let us say that I have created the course called UKG here, and on clicking onto this particular batch, I come across all the available exams that has been created. Supposingly you have something called the new exam here. When we click on the new exam, the exam type, let us say that we have something called unit test 1, and the marks type, these are the uh, type that you can select. If you select grades, then the grades should be reflected. If you select marks and grades, then both marks and both grades can be selected. So on hitting the save button, this is what you would come across. So unit test 1 is the exam name that we have created. The exam type that we have preferred is marks and not grades, or marks and grades. Then if that particular course for which the exam is being created, sorry, if the particular batch for which the exam is being created has this number of subjects, then that would be reflected something like this in this page. So now we would further enter the details of each of the subjects in this particular page. To start with, I am entering the maximum mark that can be obtained is 50, and the minimum mark that can be obtained is 40. Sorry, let me put it as 20. So please note that on clicking in the minimum mark here, uh, on typing the minimum mark here, the minimum mark for all of the subjects is created automatically. Now you have to just create the start name, start date, and end date for each of the subjects. Just click on the start time and end time for each of the subjects. Once all the dates and the time, the tentative times for all of these subjects has been created, you can just proceed on with the publishing of the particular exam. Once you have created all of the exams in details, then you can just go on to the Save Changes button and click it. On clicking the Save Change button, you would see something like this. Unit Test 1 is the name of the exam group that has been created. Then, once an exam has been created, the same can be seen in the calendar of the institute. July 2013, Monday 22 July has been an exam for Unit Test 1 for UKG B 2013. Moreover, these subjects for which the marks is there can also be seen in each of the items that you can see up here. For Maths, English, General Knowledge, Science, Odia and Hindi. Once this is done, we can just go on to the particular course. Unit Test 1, delete publish exam schedule. So for a particular student, when the exam schedule is published, I mean for the students of the whole batch, if the exam schedule is published, then he would be able to see it in his event calendar even. And once the results are published, then the student is eligible to see it under his reports after only being generated. So to proceed on with the exam, we would be using the publish exam schedule. Once the publish exam schedule is clicked, this exam is published. So if you have the SMS notifications correct, then this exam can be, the exam notification can be sent to all the prospective parents. Once the exam has been conducted, we can just go on to the particular exam name, click on each of the subjects there and enter marks for each of the students there. This would be something like this. As we have seen, the maximum marks is 50, so we cannot put more than 50, and a person who scores less than the minimum marks is termed to be failed. So each of the student marks is to be entered for this purpose. Let me put it this way. The description can also be put if you want it. The description behind or the remarks behind each of the marks score, like excellent, keep it up. The usual scenario that is used can also be used here. Once this thing is created, now you can create it for the rest of the exams. For each of the exams, we have the student list to which the marks are to be entered. I am showing you in detail how marks can be entered for each of these particular student in the whole batch. Moreover, please note that as we have entered the minimum marks, so the minimum marks for each of the students would be the marks below which the student would be expected to have scored fail marks. And these items that are being entered here will be reflected in the reports of the particular student when we see it. Moreover, sometimes we have the option for a student to choose from a set of electives. In such a case, only those students who have chosen for a particular subject, or only the students who have chosen a subject will be reflected there. Moreover, if we exceed the number of marks by mistake, then we would be getting a notification by the system saying that the marks has been scored for the students, it has exceeded the maximum marks allotted. Now, in this scenario, the subject allocation for this particular batch, we have an, an elective group where the student has to choose from two subjects, Odia or Hindi. In such a case, the only the students who are eligible, who have chosen Odia as the stream, as the as their preferred subject, will be having the examination for Odia, and the students who have chosen Hindi would be having the examinations for Hindi. So after this, we have completed the process of entering marks for the group of students of so some dummy numbers has been adjusted with this, and now all the subjects that we have seen here has been entered. So once you have entered all the results, all the marks for all of the students, you can just proceed on with the click publish exam result. By clicking this, sorry, by clicking this publish exam result, the exam has result has been published. Now the marks for each of the students can be seen. The Now you can see the notification as result published and SMS and recent SMS notification. If you have the SMS notification correct, the SMS would be going on to each of the parents saying that this is the marks of a particular student. Moreover, uh, we would see in detail at a later period how these marks are reflected from student login. Now we will be seeing how the Connect exam works. The Connect exam is a feature where you want to assign weightage to each of the subjects. Let us say that you have different set of exam groups like Unit Test 1, Unit Test 2, half yearly, annual, and the weightage for each of these exams are quite different. In such a case, you can just assign weightages to each of the exams up here. Now I am giving only Unit Test 1 the whole weightage and 100 to this particular subject. So this would make the batch UKG B 2013, all the students who have scored marks in this particular exam would be shown as the annual report of that particular student. So on clicking the save button, the exams has been connected and the weightages has been assigned. Moreover, if you want to enter the marks of a previous batch exam, then you can also do so by going on to that particular course, select the batch, B 2013 and the exam group. On selecting the exam group, as we don't have any enough data here, but if you select it as an exam group, then you can enter the previous batch exams for that particular batch. Now we will be generating reports for the exam created, as the exam created are UKG. The course has been selected and all the batches under this would be asked to create the exams for them. On clicking onto this, moreover, let me tell you how the generate reports works right from here. Generate reports helps us to create the reports for a particular batch or a particular course, for all the batches of a particular course to be more detailed or precise. We can also say that it generate reports that's to be done to see the marks of a student, even to see the marks. These marks can be seen student wise, subject wise, rank wise, and we will know more about it from the report center. Once these reports have been generated, now you can just go to the student profile. Let us say that we have a student in our batch. This has been in queue. So once this thing has been completed, as we can see that no student jobs are there, so this report generation is completed. So now we would proceed on selecting the student of. So Sandeep UKGB 2013 is the name of the particular student. So on going to this, on going to the particular reports, this is the set of exam that has been created. We can see the transcript report of the students. The transcript report would be something like this. If you wish, we can also see. If you wish, we can also see okay, to start over again, we go to a particular student name, and on clicking onto the student, we come across this profile. On seeing his profile, we can click onto the reports button. Once the reports button is clicked, this is the set of reports that are being generated for the particular student. So on seeing, moreover, from here we can see the marks that he has scored in the particular exam that was created. In the exam created, this is the marks that he has got. The maximum marks were 50, but he scored 43. These were the marks. Moreover, he can also see the class average versus his average. So the one that is in red is Sandeep's marks, and the one that are in brown are marks of the average, average of the whole class. So this is the statistical report and the graphical report that can be seen from here. Moreover, if you want, you can also take the PDF report of the same. So this is the consolidated report that a student gets, that for the whole batch. Here we can see that the marks for all the normal subjects like maths, English, GK and science, and the chosen sub and the elective subject 45 is this, and the marks scored by each of them is this. So this is the consolidated report that one gets on seeing that the admin gets. Moreover, if you want to have a PDF report, you can also see the PDF report. Then we would quickly move upon the report center part of examination. This is the report center page of the examination module. Report center is a very important module, is an important part where you can see the reports under different categories. Let us say that if you want to have the exam wise report, you can do so by clicking onto this exam wise report link and clicking on the particular course. Let us say that you have a course called UKGB 2013 and the exam group that we have created is unit test 1, and you want to see the exam wise report. So here is the exam wise report that you would get. On clicking on each of the students, you would see the particular marks of the particular student. Moreover, please note that a student who has opted for the particular subjects will only be shown in this report. Again, the reports of the statistical and graphical for all the students can be seen here. Then we have the subject wise report. You can see the subject wise report of the particular batch and a subject. Let us say that we have the subject called ODIA, and clicking onto the view, we see this number of exams has been created under ODIA, and this is the class average, and this is a continuous exam that has been tendered. When we see an NA, it says that the exam was not created for that particular subject. Then we have the grouped exam reports, in which the grouped exam reports can be calculated. All the exams in which, as in the connect exams, I've connected unit test 1 as only 100%. So but if I want to connect all the exams like the unit test 1, unit test 2, final and half yearly, then if I connect it that way, then all the exams would be coming under this, all the exam groups would be coming under this, and the user would see the result that is being shown here would be the combined or the average of all the exams that was being created here. So this was how the grouped exam reports works. Then we would see the archive student reports. All the archive students can be seen from here. Students who have been passed out or student who was in some other batch can be seen from here. So this is the archive student reports that somebody gets on clicking onto the archived reports. Then the student ranking per subject, which we can see which student has scored the maximum in a particular subject. So UKGB would be the thing, and the subject would be maybe English, and on hitting the view button we see the rank of all the students of that particular batch who has scored this way. So this was about ranking per subject. Then similarly ranking per batch. So sometimes it happens that we have some kind of competitions or for all the students in the batch. To see this, we can have this batch rank per particular batch. So as per this exam unit test 1, the students the ranks of each of the students has been something like this. So as per the Suchita, student has been ranked 1 and the student named Abhishek has been ranked 11. So this is how the ranking per batch is done. Now we would moving upon the rest part of the report center. The ranking per course, the ranking per school, and ranking per attendance can be seen. To see ranking per course, we can see whether for the particular course what were the ranks of of a student. This is the ranks that as per for the whole course. If we have some other batches like B 2014 or something like C 2013, then for that whole course the ranks would be created. Student ranking per school, these ranks in the whole school be generated. Then we have the student ranking per attendance, the attendance wise ranks can be generated here. Then we have the ranking level report. I want to see a batches report of all the students here. The ranking level that we have set in the settings are passed and failed, and the report type is overall. So I'm clicking onto this. I will get all the students who has overally passed in that particular batch. Then we can see the view transcripts. Please remember that to see all of the reports, first of all we need to generate the reports. So once the exam has been all the process of the examination has been conducted, like the exam schedule publishing, like the exam marks entering, like the exams result publishment. So each of these things are to be done, which is to be followed by generate reports, and after the generate reports is done, we can just quickly move upon report center to get all the possible kinds of reports that are being supported by Fedina. So this is the transcript report, which means the academic report of the whole year. So as we have connected exams in the different ways, so only the exam that we have connected would be reflected, and the percentage and the marks of all the students of the exam that we have created now will only be affected as we have given 100% weightage to that particular exam only. So this is the transcript record that one would see. So now we would just to finish with reports, we have the combined reports. Combined reports can be seen here. So this is the reports, means the reports as per the class designation and the ranking level. So all the students who have been comes under first class and who have passed can be viewed from here. So this is the list of students who have a first class and have passed. So the first class students and past students can be seen from here. So this was all about reports. Now we would see something about the student login. So all the marks entered, published, and scheduled and all. So after everything has been done, let us see how a student, let us say the Janki Ram, who was a student of AUKGB 2013, sees these exams. So on clicking on to the and click on his profile, he can see his own reports that was being available. So he can see the marks that he has secured for maths, then for particular unit test 1 he can just see what are his marks. Moreover, the student would be notified about his marks by the internal message notification that he will be getting him, as we have when we have scheduled the exam. A notification has applied up to the particular student saying that exam schedule has been published. The same goes when the result was published, the student gets a notification saying that your result has been published. Moreover, if you have the exam settings correct, then you can also see this from the student log. You can also have it for you can also get a SMS on your phone saying that the exam schedule or saying that the result has been published. So this was all about the examination schedule. And moreover, then we have something called the online exam. Online exam is a different plugin which we would be discussing in some other webinar schedule. Then and the CC reports would also be discussed in a different webinar. So this was all about today's webinar on exams.